Siding failure explained.
Good morning, everybody. We are in Selbyville over in the Bayside community. Josh and I are here to start a little partial siding replacement job. We've got a house built roughly 10 years ago. I've got James Hardie siding. Had some failures in the siding over the years, as well as some interior issues. So I'm going to show you what we're dealing with and ultimately what the issues are. So here we are. I've torn off a little section here to kind of get a closer view of everything. Number one issue we deal with Hardie siding is nailing. We deal with this a lot with vinyl siding as well. All siding essentially has to be nailed into the studs. So the issues that we deal with a lot with Hardie is when it's not nailed into the studs, you get vibration in your siding. You get siding that essentially falls out of alignment. It kind of slips down over time as the wind vibrates it kind of pulls it away. So I pulled a couple of pieces off here and I've kind of pulled back the house wrap to kind of figure out exactly what we have going on here. It looks like this nail is in the stud. And then if we come over here, our next stud is roughly right here. So we know that there should be a nail right here, and there's not. This nail is not in a stud. This nail is not in a stud. Our next stud is over here. So we know that this nail's not into a stud. This nail's not into a stud. This one's not into a stud. These two up here are not into a stud. Normally when you're doing Hardie siding, if you're nailing everything into the studs, your butt joints in the siding, so this joint here and this joint here, should be either 16 inch or 24 inches on center, depending on how your wall's framed. This one's on 25 inch center. This one here is 24 inch center. This one's 25 inch center. This one's 26 inch center. So we know right away that there was no real rhyme or reason how they were putting the siding up. All of these joints realistically would be some category of 16 inches on center. So it'd be 16, 32, 48, so on and so forth. So if you look down the wall, the whole wall is going to be like that. If we were to go through here and put a tape measure on every single one of these butt joints, we know for a fact that none of these are going to be where they're supposed to be. I'm going to guess that randomly the nails that made it into the stud were probably not on purpose. Definitely none of the butt joints were done right. So we're going to get all this patched back together. We're going to put the new Hardie siding back up. All of our nails will be into the studs, obviously. They use standard 15 weight tar paper for all their butt flashings. We don't use tar paper for this. We actually use ice and water shield. It's a little bit thicker. It doesn't break down. It doesn't deteriorate long term. You'll notice this piece right here, because Hardie joints, we don't caulk these joints. So what happens is over time, the UV rays get into it and actually deteriorate the tar paper in this little section here. So long term, probably not in the first 10 years, but in the first, say, 15 years to 20 years, that will actually just separate. It'll completely break apart, and then you'll have no butt flashing left. Again, when you're using a product that's a 50-year product, we want to make sure that we're using all the flashings and everything that's associated with it that are going to last just as long as the siding is.